Hey everyone, Michelle Alexandria coming at you with a rant, not really a rant, just a discussion about the sad state of affairs for physical media and why physical media is dying. I am someone who owns a Sony S700 4K UHD player, and last week I went out to Best Buy because Sony's player only supports Dolby Vision, but the simple fact of the matter is a awful implementation of Dolby Vision where basically it will not automatically recognize Dolby Vision when you put in a Dolby Vision disc. You have to manually set it to play the disc, and that is irritating as heck because you don't know, and unless you do your research, you don't know what disc you're buying, whether or not the disc you're buying is going to have Dolby Vision on it. And the studios don't properly market whether or not they had these discs have Dolby Vision. So for those reasons, 7 months ago, I went out and I purchased the Panasonic UHD player, the UBP 820 player, and I love that player, but that player is $500. So I returned it because I just couldn't justify spending $500 on a player when I had a perfectly fine $200 player that worked perfectly fine. The Panasonic player is definitely better than the Sony player, but it's not $500 better. And physical media is definitely better than streaming media, but it's not $500 better than streaming media. So for all of those reasons, I returned this player like 7 months ago. Well, last week I've had it in my mind for the last couple of months that I want a Panasonic player. So I was watching the pricing, and last week it finally went on sale for $450. So I ran to the store, bought it for $450, and with the taxes and fees, the total price was about $490. I had it for a few days, and while everything looked amazing on this player, I just couldn't justify spending $490 on this player when I had a perfectly capable $200 player sitting right next to it. So, because again, I'm not a tech YouTuber, so I'm not going to have like 10 pieces of the same hardware lying around. I don't have the space for it. I don't want to have that many different copies of the same thing lying around. So I'm only ever going to have one or two things at one time. I'm not going to have like 5 TVs at once. I'm not going to have 5 players or 5 Xboxes just lying around for no real reason. That's just not me. So anyway, and I'm just going to randomly press buttons just so you can. This isn't a review. I'm just going to randomly press buttons just to vary up the picture. So anyway, I returned this player last Sunday, and guess what happened? My thing broke. My Sony S700 broke on Monday, and I went 2 days without a player, and I was like, I have to have a player. I have to have a player somewhere. So I went over to the store, and they had this player. They had an open box version of this player for $399. And it's the exact same player that I returned on Sunday that cost me $500. I returned it Sunday, and then 4 days later I picked it up as an open box for $399. So let that sink in, people. And I know it's the same player because it was packed exactly the same way that I packed it. And it actually ended up recognizing my network, which is kind of scary, when I had already wiped the machine before I returned it, but it still recognized my network, and the latest firmware was already installed. So that's how I know this is the exact same player I returned on Sunday that I bought again on Thursday for $100 less. So here's what I'm wondering. If I bought a brand new 4K TV, I returned it a few days later, could I pick that TV up a few days after that and save a couple of $100? Let's noodle that one through, people. Let's noodle that one through. So anyway, so I picked up this player, but here's the problem. Even at $100 off, this player cost me like $410, $420. Is it really worth spending that kind of money on a physical media 4K UHD player. And honestly, even though I like to review 4K UHD players and I love 4K movies, I'm not really getting into buying 4K, getting into buying new physical media for this generation of movies, simply because I have over 5,000 discs that I gave to my brother, and I don't want to fall back into that trap and buy a lot of the same things twice. And the simple fact of the matter is 4K UHD discs are ridiculously expensive. Not to mention 4K digital media is ridiculously expensive. So basically, the cost of physical media is going up. It's not going down. It's either going up or stabilizing at $25 a disc. And Disney is even worse when they're charging $24.99 for their BS 4K streams, which is outrageous. However, if you wait a couple of weeks, iTunes will almost always have new releases available for $12.99 or $9.99, and that's generally when I pull the trigger. And if you wait even a few months after that, you can pick up a nice 4K UHD copy for $4.99 on digital on random iTunes sales. And I have like 300 4K UHD titles on iTunes already. So I don't really feel a need to go back to physical media. I really want to, just because I think the quality is better. I just don't know if it's worth the expense. And again, I miss the days of competition. Where's the competition in the 4K player market? Samsung just left, so now you have Sony with their half-baked products, and then you have the Panasonic at $500. That's your choice right now. And Sony's half-baked product or Panasonic, and LG has a player. So I may end up just buying the LG player later this week from Amazon for $200 and just calling it a day. So anyway, I don't know what the purpose of this video is. It's not really a rant video. It's just more of a commentary thing. But I just think these hardware manufacturers are really killing off these hardware manufacturers and the studios are working in conjunction to kill off physical media, because why would studios produce physical media if there's no hardware to actually play it on? And again, the pricing is ridiculous. There's no way. I know audio video files swear by the Oppo, and they swear it's the best player on the market and well worth the money they spent on those players. And I will say the Sony, I've never seen an Oppo, so I really can't tell, but it can't be that much, an Oppo can't be that much better than this Panasonic that I have. And the Panasonic is not super better than a basic $200 player. And Apple has really gotten a lot better with their stream quality in the last couple of updates. So I've actually been pretty happy with the Apple 4K streams, even on my crappy internet connection. So I don't know. I think I'm going to end up returning this player probably tomorrow or Monday, but before I do that, I may do another review. But I did an extensive 20-minute review of this player like 7 months ago, and like I said, I love this player. I love the built-in tone mapping. I love the fact that you can set the brightness and everything else. It's a brilliant player, but I just don't think it's worth $500 for a dedicated player. Like, if it was a game console and a player, yeah, it would be worth $500 for me. But as a single-use device, it's not worth that kind of money. And again, that's the reason why I'm still upset about the PlayStation 4 Pro not having a built-in 4K UHD player, because I have my PS4 Pro. It's still working perfectly fine. If I had a 4K UHD, I wouldn't have to worry about this. So yeah, I'm just frustrated. So anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.